I really hope you're enjoying the networking and that you visited some of our startups at their posters and demo tables this evening. For those I haven't met, I'm Danita Henderson, and I'm the Managing Director here at Pennovation Works. Welcome to tonight's Startup Showcase. Yes? All right, yes, it's great to see so many of you here, partners from the university and the city, founders, entrepreneurs, investors, and of course our beloved community builders. This room is filled with the people who drive Philadelphia's innovation ecosystem, and I really deeply thank you all for attending. Before we transition to company presentations this evening, I would like to thank the people who made this evening possible. To our participating partners from across the university ecosystem, your collaboration strengthens everything we do. Also want to thank the PCI Ventures team and of course, my colleagues on the Pennovation Works team for pulling every single detail together to make tonight a success. Yes. Yes. These events take real dedication, and I'm grateful for each and every one of you and all of your hard work. Now I want to tell you just a little bit about where we are and what we're building here. Pennovation Works is a 23-acre urban technology park that features a very unique blend of offices, laboratories, and production space. But it's really much more than just real estate. This is a purpose-built environment with a vision to advance knowledge and drive economic impact. We bring together intellectual resources from the university, industry partners solving real-world challenges, and community leaders invested in Philadelphia's future. Here's what makes us different. While we're owned by Penn, we're open to entrepreneurs and innovators from across the entire Philadelphia region. I like it. All right, this is about the 5th class. Okay, we're going to try to get to 10 tonight, 10 game class. So what we believe is that great ideas don't respect institutional boundaries, and neither should access to resources. So whether you're an innovator working on proof of concept at a single lab bench here in our incubator, or if you're running a mature research and development firm or manufacturing operation with dozens of employees, this is definitely the place where ideas go to work. The startups you'll hear from tonight represent that vision. They're tackling challenges across different sectors, building businesses that can transform industries and improve lives. They're the reason we do what we do, and they're proof that when you create the right environment and bring the right people together, incredible things happen. After the presentations wrap up, we'll have another hour of networking, so please continue those conversations, exchange contact information, make new friends, build new connections, and do all of the type of connecting that makes our ecosystem stronger. Thank you again for being here to celebrate with us this evening. So before I part, I have one more task, and that's to introduce my colleague and friend, Bhavana Mohanraj. Bhavana is the Interim Executive Director of the Penn Center for Innovation Ventures Group. So Bob, would you like to join us?
Welcome everyone to the Penn Startup Showcase. I'm thrilled to have all of you here. As Danita said, I lead the Ventures team within the Penn Center for Innovation. And along with my teammates, Mackenzie Greenfield, Ian Chen, and Melissa Lopez-Anton, our mission is to foster the entrepreneurial spirit of Penn's faculty and researchers. We are operational partners and advisors to these spin-outs, providing services and resources for company creation, governance, development, and fundraising. We do this through a few different programs: Upstart, Up Advisors, and Venture Warm-Up. This is our 15th year of operation, and I'm incredibly proud of the work that our group has done and continues to do. Our portfolio spans the life sciences, physical sciences, engineering, and education. Collectively, they've raised over $950 million, $47 million in small business grants. There are 8 ongoing clinical trials sponsored by our portfolio companies, 4 FDA 510K clearances, and 8 exits. And we are one piece of a much bigger ecosystem of innovation at Penn that I'm excited for you to experience tonight with Pennovation and our presenting partners. I also want to take a moment to thank our premier partners, RSM, Morgan Lewis, Vertical Risk Management, Bradley, and Woodmansey and Company for their invaluable support of our ventures team and companies. You can't innovate in a silo. You can't commercialize in a silo. And tonight is a reflection of the entrepreneurial community we have built here. And so it gives me great pleasure to introduce our CEO of the year, Det Anson, CEO of Neuralert Technologies. So I get this moment to gush on Det. Det is a genuinely good human. He's a serial entrepreneur that has lived many times over the challenges of building and growing companies, and yet he's not weary, he's not tired. He has boundless enthusiasm for innovation. He's generous with his time and his knowledge, and is always willing to mentor fellow founders, students, and faculty navigating a path to commercialization. Now, as CEO of Neuralert, I'm incredibly thankful and proud of his leadership of the company over the past year and a half, and even more excited for the next steps on this journey. And so, Det, we present to you the PCI Ventures CEO of the Year Award.
I'm incredibly humbled by this, just by my involvement in this community. I've been involved in Penn Startups for a couple of decades, and various friends in PCI Ventures told me, Det, one day you're going to be CEO of one of our companies, even though I was CEO of other companies. They said, one day you'll be CEO. And with Neuralert, I came into this unexpectedly, having supported the company early on. And I have incredible co-founders. I've got Dr. Steve Messing, there's Dr. Jim Weimer, working with these folks. And that's what I look at as my role as CEO, is I get to work with utterly amazing people and work with you all in this Penn community. And that's the part which really gets me up every day, gives me my spring in my step, why I'm never weary or beat down after you rejected pitch after pitch for the one that actually works. It's so important. It's so important that when you're on this journey, that you do not forget that you're not alone in this. You're not just doing this by yourself. We have resources here within the Penn community. You have folks in this room who can be helpful for you, and we'll be all more successful as we work together and do that. And I'll continue my part, and I'm just utterly humbled and surprised with this recognition, and I will do this glass trophy proud. But thank you so much for your support, and I think I now have to pitch, right, presenting. So that's that seamless transition, which it does feel strange to receive the award before the pitch. It sets high expectations, and will probably be one of my clumsiest pitches yet, but you'll learn a little more about what we're doing and why this company is so important. Neuralert has a product for rapid stroke detection to improve patient outcomes. 1 in 4 people in this room will experience a stroke in their lifetime. This isn't something that's an esoteric disease and doesn't affect a lot of people. This is something that affects 1 in 4. And 17% of those strokes that happen will happen in the hospital. When you have that stroke in the hospital, it is both the best and worst place to have one. It's the best place to have one because you have all these treatments, you have all these responses, you have thrombolytics and mechanical thrombectomy, ways we can treat stroke. But in hospital, it'll take over 5 hours for clinical personnel to recognize you've had a stroke. So if you come out of surgery that puts you at risk for stroke, some of these surgeries have incidence rates as high as 10% following surgery. It may take 5 hours to identify you've had that stroke. It's important to understand that time is brain, that 5 hours is not a great number. Delays in stroke detection lead to permanent disability, lead to death. And the tragedy here is we have the technologies, we have these thrombolytics, we have thrombectomy, we have tremendous statistics on recovery when we do treat stroke in a timely fashion. But currently there's no way to monitor continuously. There's no solution to monitor whether or not someone's had a stroke. You're relying on valuations, nurses doing the rounding to identify the stroke has occurred. This is a huge and growing market. And by huge and growing market, when NeuroWork began its journey, there were only 1,000 stroke centers across the country. And that number in 5 years has grown to 2,400. 1.7 million high-risk cardiovascular procedures take place that puts you at high risk for stroke. When that stroke occurs, it's $150,000, typical shown by studies, cost borne by the hospital, and that's direct cost, that's non-reimbursed cost. So we have terrible patient outcomes, terrible financial outcomes, and a massive growing market for a solution. NeuroWork has a breakthrough technology. This is a wrist-worn device. Disposable wrist-worn device, you wear one in each wrist, that we detect asymmetric arm movements, one of the key indicators of stroke. We detect that asymmetric strength and notify nursing personnel, other caregivers to provide timely intervention. This uses a patent-pending algorithm that was born here at Penn and licensed exclusively from Penn. And this is such a significant device that we were awarded a breakthrough device designation from the FDA. This is not something, this is not one of those pitch decks that's just, oh, this is what it could look like and doing it. We actually manufactured these devices and recently completed a pilot study at Penn, where these were worn on patients, used by nurses, already in practice. We have previously clinically tested of 5 years, over 400 patients. We can detect 75% of strokes within an hour. Within 2 hours, we detect 95% of strokes, which is a dramatic step change from the current standard of care. This isn't just, PowerPoint-enabled technology and stats. We also were published in the Journal of American Heart Association, peer-reviewed, demonstrating our validity in technology. We have an algorithm that requires no patient baseline, so if someone gets admitted to the hospital, the bands can go on right away and we can begin monitoring. We have strong intellectual property. We have this exclusive license with Penn. We have a published patent on our algorithm. Dr. Steve Messe and Dr. Jim Weimer, I've worked with Roddy Penn companies. They are as hands-on as one can be. I've done drop-off of wristwatch batteries for Steve and working with devices, basically doing everything we can to make this thing successful. We've got a clear pathway to FDA clearance. We completed our pilot study here. We've begun a 500-patient pivotal trial. We have our CRO already at work. We have our electronic data capture set up. We're lining ourselves up for patients in the new year. We plan to submit to the FDA next year. This is not a product where it's challenging to find patients. This is a product where we literally had clinicians harassing Steve, harassing a research coordinator, how do I get my patients on board? When you have a cardiovascular procedure with such a high incidence rate of stroke, you're fearing the stroke more than the procedure itself. So competitive landscape. We're the only device in this landscape with a breakthrough device designation. We don't require user baseline. We're non-invasive. We even work in consumer scenarios. There are other wristbands out there, but no one is as far along as we are, and I largely credit the tremendous support we have from Penn that's allowed us to move along in this journey. We have a clear product roadmap. We have a rechargeable device that can go home with patients. We even have a single wrist algorithm that will allow us to bring this kind of technology to devices like the Apple Watch and other wearables. We've got a clear launch strategy. We're starting in those medical centers and acute care post-surgery. We go from there to home care, post-discharge care. Our addressable market here literally doubled from 5 years ago. I say this humbly as seasoned management team, I can say I'm an award-winning CEO now. Dr. Steve Messe, Jim Weimer. Jim is currently at Vanderbilt, formerly of Penn. Brian, our CFO, has been incredible. I've had 4 exits, and he was the CFO for my prior exit. We're bringing that expertise to bear. We've got a wonderful board of directors. We've got well-recognized and strong advisors, and a familiar face there. Key partners, obviously Penn, IDE Group, CBCC, and Brick Civil and Software Engineering. We're currently raising Bridge to Series A. I can tell you all this wonderful story, and it almost feels cheap to bring up money. But we are doing Bridge to Series A. We're well along on this raise. For folks who are interested, please hit me up. It's a convertible note offering. We're getting this round wrapped up. And we got to where we are to date on $2.1 million. And we look at medical devices, we all know how much money you can go through. That's 2.1, and very capital efficient to date. Potential exits and liquidity, everything from existing device manufacturers, those consumer wearables. We've got a lot of different pathways here, but I'm really excited the opportunity we have to impact so many patients, prevent disability, prevent death, with something that delivers greater quality care for patients and even saves money along the way. So thank you for the opportunity to present. Thank you for the humbling for the recognition. I know I was liberal with my use of time today, but thank you.
I'm the Associate Director of Education and Entrepreneurship here at Pennovation Works. I get to oversee the educational programming across the complex and in the ecosystem and curate resources that help our entrepreneurs transform concepts into successful ventures. I'm also the director. I am the director of the annual Pennovation Summer Accelerator, which serves as a launchpad for our local tech-enabled startups. And this past summer, I had the privilege of working with Serpent Robotics. They're revolutionizing tree care with an advanced robotic system that eliminates the danger of manual tree cutting. You can see their demo table in the seminar room after our presentations. Serpent was named the overall 2025 Pennovation Accelerator winner based on engagement throughout the program, their growth over the 6 weeks, and their final pitch. And so I'm excited to introduce Kevin, co-founder of Serpent Robotics. He's a mechanical engineer and graduate student in the IPD, or Integrated Product Design program. Kevin has direct industry experience building medical-grade surgical robotics and giving Serpent a deep foundation in actuation control systems and safety-critical design.
Thank you, Jamie. Like she said, I am Yiran Shret. You can call me Kevin. I'm one of the founders of Serpent Robotics, and currently it's engineering technical lead. So I'm not the usual spokesperson for our venture. I ask for forgiveness if I speak too fast and move the mic away from my mouth. So Serpent Robotics is a startup focused on providing cost-efficient robotic tools for tree care workers to cut branches without having to climb into the tree or use very large equipment, very large and expensive equipment. And why does it matter to keep tree care workers, also known as arborists, on the ground? Well, every 3 days an arborist is critically or fatally injured from activities related to their work. And this highlights the extreme hazard that arborists brave in their profession, which is among the top 5 most dangerous occupations in the nation. Safety is just one of the challenges facing their industry today. Other large problems that Serpent aims to address are the national arborist labor shortage, higher worker turnover rate, and tightening compliance regulations and an over-reliance on unsustainable fuels such as oil and gas. So stakeholders of the tree care industry also have a dire need to reduce costs, especially the electrical utilities sector, which loses billions of dollars every year from outages caused directly by improper tree care. Take the example of the Hawaii and California fires, in which the respective electrical companies had to pay billions of dollars in settlements alone, and not to even mention the cost of repair the damaged equipment. So to meet these challenges, we present the Serpent, which is a lightweight, cost-effective, and versatile machine that can climb into trees, clamp onto branches, and then make a precise cut. And it works using arborist expertise. So first, the arborist throws the rope into the tree as they normally would if they were going out into it themselves. But instead of them risking their own body, we just risk the robot, we clamp it to the ropes, and they pull it up themselves up. Our goal is not to replace the arborist, but rather to enhance the arborist's skills and expertise. We want to enable them to do more while risking less. So bringing our startup to life is a diverse skill set, ranging from mechatronic engineering to financial projection to brand storytelling. Most of us are part of the integrated design program, which is focused on doing in-depth problem research and discovering innovative solutions and developing them. We frequently also consult with our expert advisors, and we're always on the lookout for more people to talk to. So far we've been very lucky in that we found some success in various competitions and incubator programs, especially the Pennovation Summer Accelerator. And this has allowed us to refine our value proposition and fund our continuing development. So we made a lot of use of our funds to continually develop multiple working prototypes, which we brought to the local Morsock Freedom for live testing. Our most recent version actually was able to cut down large branches and climb up to 50 feet in the tree. You can visit our poster area later to watch the footage that we got from the testing session. Of course, for all of these efforts to be worth it, and that was the video, we can't play with the PDF, and even for more pictures during the session. Of course, for the venture to be worth it, we have to come up with a sustainable business plan. And our most direct way is to sell the machine directly. But to get there, we want to start by a rental model. So there are only 3 large equipment suppliers for arborists in the Philadelphia area, despite there being hundreds of tree care companies. So this is actually a huge advantage for us, because these are all points about marketing and sale and contact and interaction to all these hundreds of businesses for all these 3 points. So we want to create our pilot program in the spring around these 3 points. In addition to direct sale, we want to also create a lease model, which will be able to provide ongoing services such as maintenance plans, replaceable parts, and software upgrades. Serpent is addressing a multi-billion-dollar tree care market with hundreds of thousands of potential users in the US alone. Not to mention the potential in the utility sector, which is another $24 billion, taken just from the losses in tree-related outages. So our next steps are to continue our prototype developments using the funds we still have left. We will be needing more soon, but and also increase the pace of iteration, visit more collaborate a lot more. I'm presenting today because Stein, Margaret, and Jason are all at TCI, the Tree Care Industry Expo in St. Louis. As we speak, actually, Margaret is just getting on the plane. And they will try to talk to sort of everyone from the arborists, but also like business leaders, thought leaders, and middle management levels in insurance to refine our business proposition. And of course, we want to start designing our pilot program and join more accelerators and challenges to continually refine and improve upon our business plan and our pitch. So we are Serpent Robotics. The future of tree care is here and is built for safety. Thank you for your time, and please stop by our post area if you'd like to chat more.
So Serpent Robotics is a member of the Venture Initiation Program, and one of the things that PCIB did this year was open up the showcase to include some of the other ventures, student ventures, alumni ventures. And so I'm here to introduce Melanie Herbert from Sync Labs. And there she is, okay, good. I know a few people here, but my name is Jeffrey Babbitt. I'm a practice professor in engineering entrepreneurship. And I also am the engineering faculty director for Venture Lab. So Venture Lab is the organization, the student hub for entrepreneurship that serves the entire university in all our entrepreneurship activities. And I have the distinct pleasure of working with unbelievable students like Kevin and the team, and many, hopefully, of the companies that you visited here in the poster session you've heard from. And every once in a while, there are a couple of rock stars that just come out, they take advantage of every single resource that Penn has to offer, and they're a lot. And many of them are the companies, for those of you that have been around, that are out there and doing some amazing things. And about 3 years ago now, it's a little crazy, Melanie started working on this project and worked on it in a couple of different classes, including our Engineering and Entrepreneurship Lab class, took advantage of the Venture Lab resources, and then just started winning almost everything. The Startup Challenge Grand Prize, the Bridge Fund Award, the President's Innovation Prize, which is $100,000 plus $50,000 stipend for each one. And what I want to do is turn things over to Melanie to share with you the exceptional idea that she's brought to life and how she's building a business and really doing some amazing things with Sync Labs. I'm going to turn things over to Melanie.
Thank you so much. It is pretty crazy. Around three and a half years ago, I actually met Professor Babin. And yes, I do still call him Professor Babin. I always will. And it goes without being said that for many years of my life, even before I came to Penn, I really dreamed about being here. I was actually, and normally in my pitches, I shared that I was a patient. And I was actually a patient at Penn Med and the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. So this definitely is like a very full circle moment for me to actually stand up here and tell you guys a little bit more about what we're doing at Sync Labs. And that whole idea is behind bringing AI to the world of senior care. And as mentioned, for many years of my life, I was a patient. I underwent chemotherapy and surgery, and this is where it opened up my eyes to just how important our caregivers and our frontline workers are. And actually, 50 million of our US seniors rely on caregivers. Unfortunately, by the year 2029, one caregiver will be responsible for 8 seniors. Now, I'll get more into the problem in a second, but for starters, I really wanted to share a little bit more about the Sync Labs journey, and that really starts with the team. So, of course, my previous experiences, but the other team members have their own experiences on the front lines, and we have a wonderful group of advisors, many of which from Penn, others that have run senior living operations themselves for many years. So here I wanted to include a fun slide because this is a Sync Labs journey presentation, and how could I not share a little bit more about our team and our interns and how we bring this energy and vibrance and passion every single day to what we do. So as Professor Babin mentioned, we have really come to take advantage of a lot of the resources here at Penn. We're very, very lucky to have raised over $400,000 in non-dilutive, non-equity funding. This has come from our over 18 competitions that we've won just this past year and support throughout the Penn ecosystem and the NSF. Now I'd like to return back to the problem, which is that one caregiver will be responsible for 8 seniors by the year 2029. And what does this actually look like for our loved ones? Our loved ones that pay for higher care are still left unattended an average of 90% of their day. Think of all the information that goes missed and all the inefficiencies. Now, while we were working with Penn iCorps, we really learned the importance of the interview process. So we've conducted literally hundreds of interviews with frontline workers, but senior living operators, and we truly zeroed in on the biggest issue in the senior care space, which is the labor shortages, and how that shows up trickling down into things like resident and staff turnover, which by the way is 75% in the senior care industry. And it was exposed to us that around 70% of labor costs, 70% of costs are spent on labor, 20 to 25% of which are spent on overtime and third-party staff. So labor is essentially riddled with inefficiencies and is our core problem here. So this is where I introduce Alice, which is our product and the caregiving co-pilot. Our objective is twofold. The first is to support the efficiency of the caregiving staff with pre-filled documentation. Around 30% of their time they spend on documentation. And the second is to improve quality of care and reducing the big incidents like hospitalizations, falls, and elopements. Now, how do we do all of this? It all starts with the 2 main hubs of activity inside of a senior's home, the kitchen and the bathroom area. So we place an ambient sensor in each, a motion sensor in the bathroom, and our proprietary picture frame in the kitchen living room area. Between these two sensors, we're able to get a full image understanding of the core behaviors and activities that the senior does. So things like the eating, the drinking, toileting, movements, falls. Now, all of these key elements come together and pair with electronic health record data and other wearables or other sensors that might already be used. I know that there's definitely other wearables and other products that are out there. We choose to integrate with those products because the more data, the more of an understanding of every single individual we're able to get, the more direct care that we can give and that we can give insights about. So that comes to the magic behind Alice, which is really what we do with all of this data. And one, we pre-fill in the documentation that bogs caregivers down and allows them to do what they do best, which is being on the front lines and actually caring with the residents. And the next is to flag proactive markers of things like falls and hospitalizations before they happen. We differentiate in two key ways. The first is our proprietary software that can run on any edge-based or camera product or hardware, so we're a software company that runs on hardware. And the next is by being a health data hub. The whole idea is being able to integrate with the electronic health records, be able to pour our insights and findings directly in there so that the documentation is already built. So throughout my years here at Penn, and I just graduated this past May, the team, we've been able to have 8 successful pilots, 5 of which are currently revenue generating right now, with hundreds of seniors all across the United States. We started in Philly, now we're branching out to California, Arizona, Maryland, New Jersey, and our early pilots show results of care staff being able to see 3 times more seniors with more quality of care. So in terms of the senior living market, you might be wondering who do you actually sell this product to? Well, we sell to senior living operators of memory care and assisted living franchises. Now, the senior care market is vast, and it's expanding, it's growing, and Alice, our system, is poised to meet with these demands and scale because this product works not just in assisted living and memory care, but also works in homes, totaling a $36 billion global market opportunity. So we're actually kicking off a $2 million seed raise round in early 2026. We're very excited to kick this off and happy to talk with anybody here that is interested in that. So here's a quick little slide. If anybody is interested in what we've done and just a quick summary, feel free to take a picture. I'm more than happy to answer any individual questions, but just really wanted to share how thankful I am to be Penn, to be here, to be supported by this amazing group of people, and happy to be pitching and sharing more about what we do every day at St. Cloud's. So thank you guys so much.
So thanks for the presentations, all of the presentations. We're coming to our close, and I have the privilege of bringing to the stage now John Swartley, who is the Chief Innovation Officer here at the University of Pennsylvania. So John.
Wow, that's just extraordinary. Great presentations. And I am John Swartley. I'm the Chief Innovation Officer here at the University. I've been at Penn almost 2 decades now. And if I kind of cast my mind back, this is doubly extraordinary to be at this event and to see this incredible turnout and these unbelievable ideas and projects coming to life. As Penn's inaugural Chief Innovation Officer, one of the things I've spent a significant amount of time doing is walking around and listening and learning about the innovation resources environment at the university, but also in our local ecosystem. And it's just incredibly impressive to me is how many resources and helpful people there are in this area. And this type of event to me is a real testament to that. I mean, we've already heard a number of, I've heard ICOR, I think Penn Health Tech was there, the President's Innovation Prize, PCI Ventures, And that's just a fraction of the different groups that are focused on supporting not just venture creation, but the people that are involved in creating these exciting opportunities. And it's really it's incredibly gratifying to see the collaborative nature of the teams that come together around with multidisciplinary focus and a lot of support from all of you. So I want to express our appreciation to you for being here tonight, of course, but also for everything you do to kind of create this environment. It doesn't happen as a silo. I think that was mentioned tonight. It really requires a combination of skills and dedication and sweat and money. So hopefully some of you are thinking about the money side of the here, but I also want to make sure that thank the sponsors, thank the organizers. I know this requires a tremendous amount of work. I also know that I'm going to keep this brief because I'm the proverbial wall between you and the reception. So once again, thank you all, thank you for coming. Super exciting, and I hope we see you at the next event.
Thanks everyone, so I'm going to release you. Please eat, drink, be merry, and thank you all for coming.